Hello, Master Explorer here, all and good. Right, so I'm back in Fort Augusta. I was only here about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I did a little tour of the village. So take a look at that video. Anyway, today, I mean, look at the weather. Look at the weather, people. It's absolutely exceptional, absolutely fantastic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you on a cruise. I'm going to try my best to get the best pictures. I don't know what the wind's going to be like on the Loch Ness, but we'll see how we go anyway. So yes, indeed. So it's going to be really enjoyable. Look at the weather. We'll see what happens anyway. I'm not going to do the cruise is about 45 minutes long, but I'm not going to film it all the way through. So I'll do bits and bats, and then I'll try and talk in between as well. So anyway, sit back, relax, enjoy, and I'll see you on the boat. Okay, bye. Alright, so I'm on the boat now. So a few minutes before we get off. We're still loading some people on. So I'm at the back of the boat. So we'll be looking back at ourselves, you know. And anyway, so at least we won't be heading in the wind, so hopefully it'll be alright. So what I'll do, I'll shoot some terrific views, hopefully, and then we'll go from there. See if I can speak during the cruise, but see what happens. Okay, I will see you when we get moving. Okay.
You have Lucas and Owen downstairs. There's a full bar, cafe. You can get those things down there. Okay, while we're in this canal, we just ask everyone to sit down, obviously, so the captain can see. Okay. Once we go out and turn around, hey, you can move around. You can be up here, you can be down on the back deck down there, and you can be in the saloon. So if you want to make the most of your trip, don't just sit in a seat. You've probably all been on buses all day. Make the most of your trip. Go and see everything downstairs. Move around the vessel. Again, if English is not your first language, you need Spanish, you can get Spanish. You can get Italian, German, Arabic, Hindi. There's 15 languages. Just scan the QR codes here, and downstairs you'll see them, and you'll get the basic information in your chosen language. And then again, for anyone that wants to find out about Loch Ness, I'm going to talk about that downstairs in about 10 minutes time. You're welcome to join us. Unfortunately, we're pretty busy, so you're probably not going to get downstairs, but there are a couple of screens upstairs as well. This canal system links the North Sea all the way through to the Atlantic Ocean. One of the largest vessels to fit through here is out on the loch at the minute. It's a cruise liner, mini cruise liner called the Lord of the Glen. It's going to head up through the canal when we're out of the way. The Loch Ness is one loch in Scotland. It's not the longest, it's not the deepest, and it doesn't have the most surface area. There are other lochs in Scotland which hold those records. What it does hold is the most water. In Scotland there are about 30,000 lochs, lakes, reservoirs, etc. The total volume of water is approximately 30 cubic kilometres of fresh water. Now, Loch Ness is just one of those 30,000 bodies of water. Loch Ness itself contains 7.5 cubic kilometres of water. That's a quarter of all the water in Scotland. And that is way more water than there is in the whole of England and the whole of Wales combined. So we're going to go for a wee cruise around the bottom end of the loch here. We'll see if we can find any wildlife. We'll talk about the underwater technologies we have. what lives in Loch Ness, the science stuff, and we'll wind up with a little look at this story about some kind of monster that lives here. Okay, we are now turned around. Make the most of your trip. Use the space on the back deck, especially if you're stuck in the middle upstairs.
So I hope you can hear me.
World famous volcano. But there is more of interest in Dark Valley.
On our way now.
The
Get back to the night.
23 miles long, average of 1 mile wide, and according to surveys during the recent 90s, a depth of 780 meters reported. That is 35 kilometers long, 1.5 kilometers wide, and 239 meters. You can split the population of the world, Loch Ness, more than 3 times over, and it takes more water than all the lakes, rivers, and reservoirs in the kingdom of Wales combined. So there is room for new seals and eagles. To help understand the scale of the loch, many world-famous landmarks exist completely submerged in Loch Ness. The Eiffel Tower, Golden Gate Bridge, and the Statue of Liberty will all disappear below the surface, as with the hill beyond the side of it. Loch Ness is part of the Great Glen of Scotland. The geological fault line runs from the North Sea to the northeast, the edge of the Atlantic shelf to the southwest. It cuts Scotland. The rocks which form the Highlands of Scotland were laid down in form tropical seas far to the south of the equator more than 500 years ago. Around 400 million years ago, the continents of North America and Europe collided, and this created the massive landscape that you now see on your right hand side. The earthquake was 13 million years long and formed mountains 3 times the size of Mount Everest. These mountains are known as the Caledonian. Eventually, North America drifted away, the Atlantic opened, and as the continent entered North Atlantic Ocean, they drew down upon themselves great ice ages, and our enormous giant places were eroded to substance. When the last ice age finished, around 12,000 years ago, Loch Ness filled with fresh water and formed into the deep ponds, staying the rainwater run off the hills and into the rocks. Like then unable to capture the surface, making the rock water appear so dark. Whether the phenomenon is observed, testing will continue to be debated, and there are many theories on the subject. So let us take a look at the history of the Loch Ness Monster in the Divine. The first eyewitness report of a mysterious creature in the loch was described by St. Columba in the Scots Irish Missionary. Further sightings occurred in the 19th and early 20th century, but in 1933 the story circulated supported with a series of unusual encounters and photographs. During the 1930s, we saw the development of infrastructure throughout the Highlands, and with that came an influx of people, more eyes on the loch than only one thing. The most famous picture, that of a graceful neck appearing from the water, will always remain the most iconic of Loch Ness Monster. There have been many attempts over the past 40 years to solve the mystery, including Loch Ness, Martin's research, and exploring the loch in 1968. The Loch Ness Investigation Bureau was established by a collective of passionate professionals who initiated a 40-year vigil in Loch Ness from the early 1970s until 2010. They established a minute room in 1966. They were successfully capturing several unusual images which are still studied today. One member of this investigation, Dr. Robert Wright, captured underwater photographs of the slipper of an unusual creature, adding further evidence to the top of the mystery. The first full loch sonar was in place. all passengers, please return to your seats. Please return to your seats. I'm afraid the toilets and the bar will now be closed, but there are facilities available in the village if you should need them. We will be offloading the bottom deck first, followed by the top deck, but it shouldn't be too long, and we'll get you into the folks. Thank you very much for sitting with us, folks. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Right, that's it. Back on dry land again. Right, so I've just got off and can just see behind me. That's the cruise line, well, boat that we went on. Look how many people want us going to go on the next one. That's how many people we went on. So anyway, so I can't do much more. I couldn't have said anything on that because it was just too noisy. And the audio and the people, water, blah blah blah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that boat trip. I hope if you ever do come up here and then get a day like this, then go for it, you know. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Anyway, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell for future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm Explorer, signing out. Bye.